You're listening to Pointing Pointers, the Point to Point podcast. Good evening. Hello. Welcome to Pointing Pointers. We are back. This is season 5, unbelievably, and we're really excited to be back for a new season. I am joined, as ever, by Sam Davies-Thomas. Sam, how the devil are you?
It's good to be back. Nice to see your face on the screen, Ben. Although I did see you at Market Raising, but we can go into that a little later on if you want to talk about it. I don't know if you should, but you can if you want.
I think we've all talked about it enough, haven't we? Can I just say, Sam, before we go any further, your hair looks fantastic. Now, if you watch this on YouTube, which you should be, by the way, Sam claims that he hasn't had it dyed. Now, we've all been, oh, you do look a bit grey there.
What?
Remind me of kind of like mid-90s E17 with highlights, but you are looking sharp. The taper's, good at the back. I've seen the back of your head when you walked off to get your second bottle of wine. And yeah, you're looking good, mate. So what have you been up to this summer?
Thanks. Not a lot really. Not as busy as you, to be honest. Just working. Been racing a bit. A few holidays here and there, but yeah, back to it now and looking forward to getting the teeth into the pointing season when we get started. Not long now, a few weeks, and we're speaking to a few people later on. So they've obviously been very busy, a lot busier than me. But you have been a very busy boy, haven't you? What about yourself?
Just the usual, Sam. Just juggling, spinning a few plates.
How was that big festival?
Yeah, good, thank you. Yeah, went really well.
I didn't make it.
All good. Now, Sam, I've been busy with something else, as you know. Breaking news. This is where the banner needs to go across the screen. Transfer deadline news. Breaking news. We are starting a forum.
Lovely.
Now, I realised you didn't know this till a few days ago, where I kind of slipped it into a conversation because I knew you'd be marginally cross with me for a start. But I think it's a good idea, and here's why. No one else has really. I mean, there's been a few things that have popped up online, but I do think it's important that there's this independent space that's kind of not connected to any of the powers that be, in inverted commas, where people can just say things as they mean them without, I'm not encouraging some of the toxicity that used to exist on the previous forum, but I do think it's important that people can just say what they think and discuss things in an interactive way. So we have put a forum up with some help. We are launched. We are live, Sam. We've kind of dry tested it. No one's managed to break it just yet. There's definitely a few tweaks to be made. But if you go to pointingpointers.co.uk, you can sign up. I think it's pretty easy to use. Do you use it on your phone?
Yeah, I've used it. Yeah, I've used it on my phone. Yeah, I haven't used it on the computer yet. But as you say, it is. I think it's a vital necessity for people within the pointing community to be able to talk to each other. Vital information that can get put on there quite quickly by people. Results, reviews, previews from people that are there, and very knowledgeable people that have been pointing for many years. Hopefully, they can get on board because there was a lot of good people on Jumping for Fun. Dom did a great job for many years, and it was invaluable, really, and it would have been a shame for it to go to waste. I know it's on a different kind of space now, but I think we need to carry it on. And no, good on you and the others around you to be setting it up. Yeah, no, I've used it. It's good, and if we get more people on board, as you say, pointingpointers.co.uk, breaking news forum.
You heard it here first. Yeah, that's the thing, and like Jumping for Fun was brilliant, wasn't it? And obviously, many hours, blood, sweat, and tears, and years of work have gone into that. And I was quite conscious when it came to an end that we didn't want to just sort of like, jump in the grave of someone else's hard work, really. But nothing really has emerged. There's been a few sort of fledgling projects over the summer, and like you say, they kind of rely on a critical mass. And I'm hoping we can get it to a point quickly where people, you're able to exchange information and it's genuinely sort of valuable. So.
Yeah, and I just hope
There's nothing gained, Sam. There's nothing in it for us, obviously.
No, exactly. But yeah, I just hope people go on there and kind of, every time the last season I was like going on there, all you'd go on there is read doom and gloom, or the sport's not the same as it was. We all know the sport's not the same as it was. We just got to make the best of what we've got, and which is still a great sport and brings great people together. So as long
Speaking,
as
Sam, speaking of making the best of what we've got, I've been meaning to tell you this. There's a chap on there who will remain nameless until he says that he doesn't mind being named, but on the one to follow section, who last time I worked it out over the last since they've put the forum up is about 26 points up from his one to follows that go up every day. And I'm just putting it out there, Sam. I think 26 points up is better than we've managed this month.
yeah, I tell you what, it wouldn't be hard though, would it?
There's been times I've been hovering over the self-exclusion button in October.
I wouldn't mind.
It's a new thing for me.
I wouldn't mind him revealing himself. So no, fair play. Good. I'd love to have a look at that.
I know his name's on there. I just don't know whether he wants publicising right
You're
now.
right. Okay, all right.
Yeah, no. I've been having a look each day and been putting some fairly obscure bets up, and quite a lot of them have landed, which is interesting. Yeah. So that'll increase our views by one member every morning, i.e., you at 7 a.m. I'd say.
Yeah, no, it's good, and hopefully it goes well. And I'm looking forward to watching it grow. I'm
Yes.
watching you even busier than you are already. I cannot wait.
Just to frame this episode, we are just going to be going round the trainers who were kind of in the top tier of the standings at the end of last season, the bigger yards in inverted commas. We've got some voice notes. I've been to see quite a few of them in person over the course of the last few weeks. Sam's got some voice notes as well. Then we're going to have a break next week, and then in another week's time, we're hopefully going to have a special guest, which we are still working on, which would be great. And then we'll get into a much more regular pattern as we build up to Nightwick and Dunsmore. So without further ado, let's get round some of the arts.
Hi, Sam. I hope you're well. We've been busy enough through the summer doing sort of breakers, pre-trainers for people, keeping ourselves ticking away. All the pointers are back in and in full swing, which is exciting. I think our first runners will be aimed probably for Anik, 15th of December. So not in too much of a rush, but we purchased Dusart with an aim of trying to get him to the Fox Hunters. So he's one that we sort of want to try and qualify up, so wanted to get him out early. A lot of the horses, to be fair, we've bought Morning Spirit out of John Joe's yard privately. He's a horse I really like. I think he could give us a bit of fun this season. But one to follow, I'd say, I know we had him last year, as a horse called Charismatic. He won very, very well at Dingley, and then things didn't really go to suit on his last run, but we sort of got him mid-season last year, and he's come to us. He looks really well. And hopefully he's one that, obviously he's a restricted horse now. He could go through the ranks and be a bit of fun for his connections. He's owned by some lovely people that live in Derbyshire, and it would just be amazing for them to have a horse go through the ranks and actually have a bit of fun with him. I mean, they cried when he won, bless them. So that's what pointing's all about. But yeah, no, we're, like I say, up in full swing. Ellie Corwood obviously will be the jockey for the season on all the horses that aren't Chatfield Roberts horses. Obviously, then Tom and Misha will ride the others. So yeah, I'm really keen to support Ellie. She's a great girl. No one would work harder than her. She grafts like anything, and she really improved last season. And I'm really keen to try and support her. And hopefully, I mean, she's taken the eye from a few people. I know that. But I really hope that this season can be her season and we can really get her rolling. So fingers crossed. But yeah, look forward to catching up with everyone soon. Fingers crossed for a good season.
So I'm here in the tea room at Station Yard Racing. One half of the duo, Charlie's with me now. The other one's a little bit camera shy, as we know, Charlie. Let's start with last season. Obviously, on a lot of levels, it was a interesting year for you. You had a bit of a foray into the flat, but still very much had an eye on the pointers along with Francesca. So let's start with last season. How did it all pan out in the end?
Yeah, I mean, I think on the whole it was pretty good. The numbers were where they normally are. Sort of 20 winners are our benchmark. Last season before last was a little disappointing, but we got 19 winners with Cap Royal winning at Stratford on the last day of the season. As we we don't have a massive team of older horses, and then it's sort of the numbers are always slightly diluted by owner riders and trying to give young people chances and get them started. So, we'd always love our strike rate to be better, but like I say, I think it is skewed slightly in our defence. But the older horses perform well. For us, I think we won 100 chases with Travada, D Saba and Cap Royale, which for us was a massive thing. We don't normally have loads of 100 chase runners, never mind winners. So that was really good. And like I say, on the whole, the older horses performed really well. 4-year-olds they were a little bit in and out. I felt like, for Francesca and I felt like last year we started with them later, and we were always slightly behind with where we wanted to be with them. There's such a small window of when you can actually run them ground wise, and I didn't think we were quite ready with them when Francesca and I wanted to get going, and then we were always behind the bridle a bit. Nightwick was off, so there was no schooling opportunities before Christmas. We took them to Reesby, and some of them were barely ready. And yeah, I just always felt like we always felt like we were slightly on the back foot, for all that we had like Kaiko Rock, who was super impressive. Country Mile before Christmas was unfortunate at Chadsley. I think he could go down as an unfortunate loser, but then he kind of proved everything we thought about him when he bolted up in his bumper for Dan Skelton. So yeah. I think on the whole, the season was okay. I'd give it a C+.
So will you do things differently this season? Have you brought them in sooner and kicking up?
Yeah, we brought them in sooner. We with the 3-year-olds, and again, we had such a great time with the Breeze Up horses. People were thinking, is it a change of direction? It's just another thing for us to do. I think we've got 13 or 14 3-year-olds for the spring. So we're as heavy as ever in that department. And yeah, we brought them back in basically in, they were in the middle of August. So they came in 2 or 3 weeks earlier than last year.
Nice.
They're already cantering away. We'll start jumping in the next 10 days. And look, fingers crossed, after having biblical light rain last night, we have a sensible enough autumn that the likes of Nightwick can run their meetings. They're always incredibly good about allowing schooling and allowing you to school a few times. We'd like to have the 3-year-olds that are forward enough ready to school round in November so that they are ahead of the game. And we'll go back to what always works so well. If we have horses ready in January as 4-year-olds, we're going to drive on and run them even if there's not the 4 and 5-year-old races by then.
Yeah, nice. And for people who want to get involved, are you still doing some syndicates this year? The Picnic Partnership still going strong?
Picnic Partnership's still going really strong. It still needs more people involved. It's a bit of a lost leader for us, but at the same time, it brings local people that have supported us from the start into the sport. They have a great time. In Travada, they potentially have a really nice horse now. He was, granted it was a 3-runner race and his main rival tipped up at Fakenham, but he could do no more than canter around and win after winning a couple of point-to-points as well. He had a tiny little setback at the end of last year, so he's due to come back in the end of October, and we'll start him at the end of January with 100 chasing in mind. And then there's 2 other horses in there, Nasi and Russian Diamond, that again should both be well up to winning point to point him.
Nice. Well, all the best for the season, Charlie. Thanks for that.
Cheers, mate.
Hello. Hope all is well with you. And as reply to your question earlier, what has been going on this summer? I think like every yard in the country, there's a lot of work to be done. Maintenance, painting, disinfecting the stables, cleaning everything out, checking the lorries over, topping the grass gallops, mending the fences, doing the paddock fencing. All those jobs have been done here, probably like every other yard, holidays. But the most important job that has gone on this summer here at Woodway is the marriage of Joe and Izzy. That's taken a fair bit of organisation as well. I must admit I wasn't too involved in it. A great team organised it, and we had a great celebration of their wedding. Moving forward to the horses, we've had a couple of retirements. Hawkhurst, 17 wins for us, 7 seasons. Varying people have described him as a character of certain sorts, but he's been a real superstar for us, and through all his antics, actually does try very hard and gives his best. If something goes wrong occasionally, he may have found a small way of showing that he wasn't happy, but he's going to be retired now. And the other horse is Night Bachelor. again, a superstar. All the novices in the yard over the seasons have been very fortunate to have a ride on him. Some of them having their early, if not first wins. Also, the owner's daughter, Henrietta, had a great win on him. You know, we've been very lucky. Came to us from the Rowleys, but a super horse. He's now gone back home to their local hunt and is hunting hounds and very much enjoying it. So that's great. New horses, well, been to the sales looking round. Amaron Sage has come from Nicky Henderson for the Sunday night partnership. Tell Me Something Good has come from Jim Boyle. Guy Middleton has been and bought a mare out of Ireland called Star of Honour, who's had a place run. Dan Cherryman has sold on Rikers to a friend to go as a schoolmaster and has bought a horse called Occupied Territory that he's got at home at the moment, not here yet. He likes to do a little bit of the work at home. That will come back in the next few weeks. We've got an unraced horse from last year's young horses, a horse called Back on Track, a Milan horse. He was, like all our horses here at Woodway, did all his work at home, had a varying days away, racecourse schools and racecourse gallops and everything, but it was always thought that he was going to be a bit big and immature, and I feel that the summer has definitely let him fill out. We got one or two of the other young horses that we had in last season coming back in as well now, so look forward to seeing them. Emerging talents. Well, we had Soldier Unknown, who won his first 3 for us. Then when he was second at Dingley, he ran a cracking race. It was a good race. Probably we may have been a little bit greedy running him again. It was when we were in the height of Izzy chasing this title, and we ran him because the horse we wanted to run, unfortunately, that morning pulled out with a poisonous foot. So I've got to give him his due. He ran a cracking race, beaten by one of Dale's horses, which is quite a nice horse, so we probably weren't disgraced. But he's come back in, ready to go. Carry On Away, nice Lark Hill winner. Very pleased with him. We were quietly patient with him, ran him at Kingston hoping we were doing the right thing, and then he ran very, very disappointing. Came back and scoped dirty, hadn't shown us any of that at home, but the race had thrown up something. Jongleur Darnay won a very nice maiden at Wadebridge, impressively sprinting clear, but he needed time. He definitely is another one, so he's come back in. The older horses, IK Brunel's come back in. He'll probably go to the Lark Hill Ladies at the beginning of December. Learned a lot. Ran the first day and the last day as such of last season. Kept running him on soft ground because he won on it. First day of the season down at Dunsmore. He, I felt, needed it. He'd run very well for it, on it for Ollie Murphy, but he didn't seem to be showing the form we hoped. So I bit the bullet and said I wanted to try him on better ground. And really the only place to go was the restricted final at Stratford. We did, and we were very fortunate, and he ran so much better. So he'd probably be aimed for some of the better ground this season. Cordwell Diamond went to Paxford on Easter Monday, won in very, what you would call, attritional ground there. It was proper wet pointing ground, loved it. Big horse, very big horse, had quite a few runs for Gordon Elliott up to us running him at Paxford, and the ground dried up, and being a big horse, and he had shown us enough. He was put away and has come back. Cooler Park, he's going to be aimed for veterans races this season now. He's getting to that age, and a Hunter Chase. Ran him at Cheltenham in the intermediate final. I'm not certain really he got home over the 3.5, and I wonder whether we may just drop him back into a little bit shorter Hunter Chase as the season goes on. we will see. But he probably will go and run over Christmas, New Year, start his season there. So we've got quite a good team. We're just slightly down on number from last year, but we're still very much excited about the season coming ahead. But aren't we all? It's the great thing of owning racehorses. And then just to finish off, since 2007, as a bit of a novelty, I always like to do a milk bottle horse, something that I hope will show a bit of interest into the yard. And over the years, my milk bottle horses have been horses like Bonaccord, More Trouble, Harbour Court, Start Royale, Galarium, Learnt a Lot, Cooler Parks. They nearly always have luckily gone and won their race first time out. And hopefully I can give you one this year. I don't know whether he'll come into that category. Let's hope so. But Tell Me Something Good is doing everything nicely at home. He's got a little bit of form under rules. And we're looking forward to running him. And he will go sometime probably around about Christmas. So let's hope for a good season ahead. I will say plenty of rain. So hopefully the ground will, at the beginning of the season meetings, be ideal that we can all get on, run our horses, have some fun and look forward to the sport in the season ahead. Thanks a lot. See you soon. Bye.
So I'm here with Tom Ellis, who of course is now training under rules. He's going to have his first winner today, mark my words. And his better half, Gina's just got on a horse. So Tom will talk in broad terms about the operation around here, but obviously Gina's going to have some pointers this season. First and foremost, how are you getting on now that you've gone to the major leagues?
Yeah, it's been a learning curve, to say the least. We've sort of just batted away with the horses we've had, to be honest, and probably weren't that well handicapped when we picked a few of them up. So they're sort of got down to a mark now where they're running consistently, and hopefully one of them's going to win there quite soon. Whether it'll be today, I don't know, but hopefully it'll be soon enough anyway.
Oh, good on you. Well, yeah, you've obviously invested in the place around here. You've invested in plenty of horses, getting new owners into the yard. So hopefully a lot of success to come this season. In terms of the pointers, Gina's obviously training them now. How many do you expect to have pointing this year?
So between the two of us, we're about 70 in, 20 of which I've got, and then Gina's about 50 to go pointing with.
Crikey,
so
you've still got a fair battalion.
Oh yeah, that's still going to be the mainstay of the business, to be honest, and not much will change really. It sort of all happened with the rules license like a year probably earlier than we wanted it to, so hence why we've still got a lot of pointers about, and that's going to be the case for certainly the foreseeable future, definitely.
Nice one. Well, great to hear from you. Best of luck with the whole season under rules and pointing.
Thank you.
So I'm now with Will Biddick. Will, we've just driven down your new gallop. You've put a couple of gallops in the last couple of years. Let's talk about last season first and foremost. You had a bit of success buying and selling, but also, with your pointers, full stop.
We had a good year. So last year was the first year we just moved to new premises, which is my father-in-law's, Rupert Nuttall's. I spent about 8 years renting a yard just down the road from Paul Nicholls. So alongside doing all of his stores, we started training a few pointers, and so it was last year was a bit of a we had to find our feet a little bit, new gallop, and figure out how it worked and whatever. But it seemed to work well. There was a lot of we were paddling a lot underwater, I know that much. But we bought a couple at the sales, and one sold well at Cheltenham and sold another one private, and now it's gone good. So we've restocked again this year, and we are now they're in cantering away and just in the education stage. But we've recently just put in a 4.5 furlong wood chip, so that's it's a lot of reinvestment at the moment at this stage of where the career is, where the business is anyway. A lot of money going back in.
Yeah, I can see that. So for people listening, give us some horses to follow for the season.
Regards any 4-year-olds, we've got a nice horse by a sire called Black. He was a bit shut. He bought at the Derby sale. He was bought. I bought him myself, and he was a bit sharp to break in, really alert and forward. And when he went out for a few weeks, and he came in looking like a bullock. He grew and he filled out, and I'm really, really chuffed with the sort of horse he's turning into. We've got a couple Maxioses in the yard, which I've not had before. So and they're showing genuine and forwardness and natural ability. So none of them are named yet. So
that's handy. Cheers for that.
So don't worry. When there's another interview, I can tell you the names. There's no secrets on this end. Older horses, we've got Mr. Glass that Oliver Nichols will ride, and Macklin was a real stable star for us last year. He won his point-to-point first time out, and then we went to Taunton, and that was a bold effort. So he's on course this year to he'll probably start in a point-to-point, and we'd just target him at a few hunter chases following on from that. We've got Il Pino, a Pendle partnership owned horse, and he had a stint with Paul. He had a season with Paul Nichols last year. He won his 4-year-old point-to-point at Chaddersley, but he's going to come down in grade this year. Just give him a bit more time to grow and mature. So he could be anything, because he's obviously got a lot of ability. So that's one that we're going to have a little campaign with. Fingers crossed with him this year.
Yeah, fair enough. And so, do you feel a bit like you're switching tact from? Obviously your success in the saddle, we don't need to talk about that. Do you feel like there's a new challenge with training plenty of winners?
Not really. I really enjoy the training side, but I'm still, there's no like half-heartedness with me in the saddle, because I feel if I'm just going to do it a bit part-time, there's enough risk anyway. And if I'm not fully engrossed in the sport as a rider, in my mind, there's more that will go wrong. So I'm fully engaged as a rider whilst I'm still riding. The training I love, and that's something that is going well at the moment. We still got the same number of horses as we've had for 3 years. So we're not really growing the business. We're just putting money into enhancing facilities and creating something. So there's something there that I can really crack on with when I do hang up my boots. But right now, I'm trying to continue what we've been doing for the last few years, improve facilities, and fully focus on the riding when the season comes.
Yeah, fair enough. And you said to me previously that you don't really look at the sort of championship until at least Easter. But does that mean we could see Will Biddick's name on the trophy once again?
I'd love to see my name on the trophy again, but I think those days are kind of gone unless I can.
Come up north more often?
Come up north. Unless there's a trainer with a number of horses that I'm connected with, or I've created something with a number of horses that I can be connected with. It's you can't do it. Well, I say you can't. I don't think you can do it with a number of smaller trainers. You need a big yard to support you for a championship. That's how I feel. And I've just, Chris Barber moving out of the area. That's, I'm still going to ride a bit for Chris, but he'll be riding more. He'll be training more in the Midlands, and that'll probably clash a bit more with Wessex or Devon. So I might not be as available. So I think that'll that's going to affect my tally a little bit. Little chance of any championships now.
Yeah, I understand the point. I know I give you a bit of stick for getting a nosebleed coming up north, but what you're saying is really that unless there's any big yards around here, then you're not going to be on the phone 4 nights a week ringing people and going riding one up at Alnwick or something, are you really? So I suppose, do you, in that way, would you maybe focus more almost on your own strike rate than championships, just in terms of winning with the ones that you do ride rather than just going for volume?
What a stupid question. Like I'm a fussy rider.
I'm not. I'm just saying, He won't mind me saying this. James King's on the phone an awful lot, ringing round, asking people if you can ride their horses when they're in the area. I can't publish that.
Yes, you can.
Okay, fine. So basically what he's saying is you're going to stick to what you know down here, and you're probably not going to come up and ride all around the country, but you're happy with that. And if you do get in a position to kick for the win, then you will, but you're not going to kind of jeopardise your business at home for the sake of championship.
I want to ride as many as I can on a day's racing, and I'm not particularly picky and choosy. There's a lot of horses I've ridden throughout my career that you'd look at them and think they've got no chance, and I'd ride them whether it was to fill my card up or help out the connections, and they've gone and done very well or nearly won. So you can't always judge a horse's form because of, sometimes it's ground or sometimes it's who's ridden them before them, and you by the time you've got into the season a bit, you kind of know the horses that are, if they were ridden a bit different, they might have more of a chance, or if they ran on different ground, they might have a different chance or a different course. So I'm I just want to fill my card up when I go racing, and I am fully race mode when the season starts as a jockey, and the yard will continue as it is for the last 3 or so years.
Good. Well, we wish you all the best for the season, Will.
Good man.
Hi there. So you probably should have Josh for this, but fortunately he's sounding very croaky at the moment. Hasn't been brilliantly well this week, probably from all the extra graft going on, trying to get ready for the start of the season. But we've had a really, really good summer. We got married in the summer, which was lovely, very quiet day, but just a very small bunch of us. We got married in Guernsey, and had a very short holiday and a lovely time. So that was really nice. And other than that, we spent the summer sort of restocking, tidying up the yard and facilities, and just gearing up for the next season, really. We've bought some lovely horses for this year, I think. I think we've got probably the strongest maiden team we've probably had in a while, and probably a little bit thinner on the top end for the opens, but hopefully some of the younger ones will come through and take up that role, which would be great. Obviously it would be great to have another season like we did last year. I don't think we can really realistically think about any championships with the numbers that we have. We just can't compete on, with the likes of Gina and Tom, on the sort of scale of horses we have. But if we can have as good a season as we did last year, and sort of, be very dominant in the southwest, we'd be very happy. We don't really have capacity for more than 25 pointers, with the rules horses on site as well. So, but yeah, we're happy with what we've got. Some of the picks, or definitely my picks, would probably be a horse called El Capitan. He's a maiden, but he's got some very nice Irish handicap form. He's running some very good novice races in Ireland, and the form's worked out. So I'd be really excited to see him start in a maiden, and I'm hoping he'll work his way up through the ranks. What else have we got? We've got some nice handicappers that have sort of shown form under rules that have come back pointing. They'll be good fun. A horse called Talamar Pearl has been second in 3 hurdles, should be very solid. Horse called Impact St George's, has got some good Irish handicap form. So we'd be hoping they're solid handicapping performances. They should, if they enjoy pointing, they should be very competitive. from a higher end point, we've still got 16 Letters and the Kingswrit and Paloma Blues on his way back in this year. You know, after having most of last season off, he's back in and going. So it'd be nice to have those old boys around, but they are all getting old. 16 Letters is actually going to be novice ridden this year. He's gone to an owner rider in the yard, Hannah Morgan, which is lovely. And supporting these, you know, novice and owner riders in the yard is something obviously we do love to do. We have Paddy Poste join us this season with her 2 horses. She had a winner last year at Upcut Cross on Cusimano, sizing Cusimano. And we do have a young girl hoping for her first ride this year, Tilly Garton, who's hoping to ride Tip Top Mountain, who we bought in the summer. She's won 8 chases, I think, and has never fallen, so it'd be a great spin for her this year. So a bit of time's going to be taken up supporting, you know, the girls we have in the yard to ride their horses, which, you know, is really what pointing is about, and, you know, getting them started and enjoying it. So looking forward to that. We do have some nice young horses coming through. We've bought some 3-year-olds that hopefully will end up at the sales this year. They're a very straightforward bunch so far, so probably the most straightforward bunch we've had. Whether that's a good or bad thing, I don't know. But they're going along nicely. Got a nice Jetaway I quite like. We have some 4-year-olds left over from last year. One of them was second at Lark Hill on debut, so I'm hoping she'll go close first time out this year, and a couple of unraced ones that we're looking to get to the track early enough. So that's really exciting, and hopefully they'll do well, but they will be for sale. As much as I'd love to retain some of them, we just don't have the budgets to get them into our national hunt side of things, which is sad for us, but, you know, it's an economics game, and we have to make it pay. So you know, that hopefully they will do what they were purchased for and go well in a point, and then go on to the sales. So yeah, hopefully that will work out, and we're looking forward to the season. We're off galloping away tomorrow, trying to get our early runners ready, and we will see you all at Dunsmore.
Sam, I don't know about you, but listening to that just gets me very excited for this season. Like when it's not on, it's easy to just get wrapped up with other things, but like you start remembering how exciting it was towards the end of last season and how nip and tuck it was in so many ways. I'm getting revved for it now. In the words of Johnny Bailey, he's just had a mention on the first episode of Series 5. He's absolutely living rent free in my head, isn't he? Johnny Bailey.
That's what he does. Good job. You've only known him for about 8 years. I've known him for about 32. So
yeah, I know. Yeah, so in the words of Johnny Bailey, I am revved.
Yeah, very good. Very good. I'm not as revved as you yet until it starts to warm up.
Yeah, but, I was going to say, can you at least fake some enthusiasm, Sam?
I'll be there on the first day of the season, pom-poms in hand, video cameras. I remember last season, first day of the season, we were there recording everyone, interviewing people. What happened to that?
that wasn't the first day of the season.
The first day we went at was Bishop's Court. Bishop's Court. Where do we go?
I didn't. We went to Badbury Rings.
Badbury Rings, that was it. And you took the Anvil, didn't you?
Oh, yeah. Hey, happy story. Good story, the Chief Hopper.
Yeah.
He has been sold to a lovely home who absolutely adore him, and he's kind of doing some eventing bits, and he's probably going to go hunting and things. And I'll tell you what, he's got a hell of a jump for that horse, and he probably wasn't a racehorse, and we gave it a fair belt at trying to make him a racehorse. But all's well that ends well, Sam. And
yeah, and talking about retirees, obviously with just Alan Hills, I thought Alan Hills' voice note was very informative, going around plenty of horses. Got the milk bottle horse at the end there, so anyone who wants to skip to that bit, Alan normally puts up a horse each season, and he's normally very profitable. So yeah, I won't ruin the surprise if you need to go listen back to it. But yeah, Hawkhurst, the retirement of Hawkhurst and Night Bachelor. Obviously, Hawkhurst, what a horse. I think he said 17 wins, 7 seasons. Yeah, great horse, and he's fully deserves his retirement. I'm supposed to be delighted not to have Joe Hill yapping on the back of his back every morning. So no, that was good.
Yeah, I mean, if there's a horse in the country that knows the form of every point and every low grade handicap hurdle in the land, it'll be Hawkers because I've heard it all from Joe every morning for the last 10 years.
All notes he sends everyone, yeah. But no, and yeah, great wedding as Alan mentioned as well. Great wedding for Joe and Izzy down there. You missed the invite, did you? You're not in now.
They got married. Oh,
They got married, yeah.
Oh dear.
Yeah, you all right?
Yeah, I'm fine, but yeah. No, I just got to find my eye, actually.
Yeah, that's another good woman gone, mate. Unfortunately.
That wasn't what I was crying about, Sam. I think.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Sorry. I'm on about the woman gone. Bless her.
Oh yeah. You'll be devastated.
I am. Yeah. I was holding on for that for years. I've been holding on to that for years, and now he's sealed the deal. So, well.
Well, Sam, it's not like a wedding ring stopped before, is it? So, why start now? He doesn't even know what to say to that. It's not true, everyone. He's a good
right, let's not bore everyone. Come on.
He's a good lad, really. Is he? Yeah, I think so. Anyway, Sam, on that bombshell, we are back. It's good to see you. And we'll be back in a couple of weeks.
Lovely. Look forward to it. Can't wait. Revved.
Thanks for listening, guys. And we'll see you in a few weeks' time.
You're listening to Pointing Pointers, the Point to Point podcast.